So now to celebrate our new candidates, or our new individuals. At this time, we'll move forward with the induction ceremony. For each inductee, we will first bring up the individual who will introduce them, and then we'll have that speaker give their inductee their plaque, which will be up here, finished by an opportunity for each inductee to share a few words. I invite Ben Miller to the stage to introduce one of his former student athletes, Lisa Carlson. Ben Miller.
Hello, don't look at your watches, okay? Please, over. Congrats to all the inductees. Lisa Carlson graduated from Sauk Rapids-Rice School in 1984. She's the daughter of Ardell and Richard Carlson. I was just handed this because her parents mean so much to her, and she lost both of them not too long ago. They were very special to her, very special. So, I don't know if I can get this. Chamber of Commerce honor student. She was also an athlete. Volleyball, basketball, track, and softball. Her senior year, she was named Female Athlete of the Year at Sauk Rapids-Rice. She would continue to excel and earn the Female Athlete of the Award twice more while she was in college. She was talented, worked as hard as anyone, but her greatest attribute by far was being a leader. Let's look at the beginning, middle, and end of her leadership. We'll start in the middle, literally in middle school. When Sauk Rapids-Rice started the Hall of Fame, we were searching for resources to expand our knowledge of the student athletes that attended our high school. We checked yearbooks, newspaper articles, the Benton County Historical Society. What we discovered is one of the best sources was people. Coaches, fans, student athletes. One of our committee members went to a source that had coached nearly every female athlete in our programs, Phil Pedersen. Without hesitation, Phil named Lisa as his first choice that should go into our Hall of Fame. Not based on her talent, that was a given, she was very talented, but based on leadership. Hands down, he said, she was the best. The beginning, 5th grade. One of the greatest experiences in my 39 years of teaching was having students in the elementary classroom and then coaching them in middle school or high school. I was Lisa's 5th grade teacher. She has a couple certificates back there signed by me. They're really old. She was a leader even then. She shared with me that she loved those certificates and hung on to them. And they're in both academics and in leadership for 5th grade. Finally, her senior year. In 1984, as was mentioned, Sauk Rapids-Rice had a very good basketball team, but it was halted due to a strike. Every day, with the hopes of the season continuing, Lisa led the team in practices wherever she could find the gym. The season did not continue. She could have said, well, that's enough, I'm a senior, disgruntled, give it up. But instead, she did something she never did before. She played softball. Ironically, that was exactly what a very talented team needed, a leader and a role model. When she came to the first practice in 1984, I knew that we had the potential of having something very special. We now had a leader. It almost didn't happen. After a long indoor season, she came to me after practice one day and said, I don't think I'm going to keep doing this. I don't want to continue. I explained to her what she meant to this team and that her leadership could be the difference. I didn't sleep that night. The next day she returned and said that she would continue, and we did go to state that year. Thank you, Lisa. And Title IX was brought up. In 1984, when I got the schedule for brackets for the state tournament, I thought things were missing. There was no consolation round. If you lost your first game, you were done. And I want to say this especially to the female athletes that are here, the student athletes. Never take anything for granted. The reason that they told us coaches that there wasn't a consolation bracket is it would be too hard on the girls to lose 2 games in one day. That's a fact. It was very shortly after that several of us coaches didn't think it would be too hard on our girls. Got a consolation round in. She was also a writer. I would like to end with a couple of verses of a poem Lisa wrote for our end of the year celebration for the state tournament. Yes, I have to put this on. She took every player and wrote a verse about them. Her verse ended with, she picked a good year to join softball and be part of the fame. But my favorite part is, our coaches push us to make the best, and listen to all of us complain. They've gone through a lot to make us what we are. No wonder they're both insane. Coach Miller, what a guy. Always full of cheer. He's a nice kid, but not much up there. Together we've grown as teammates and friends. We've shared our losses and wins. It's sad to think it's over. I wish it would just begin. Well, it's all over, but it was really great. I still don't believe it, but we went to state. One more thing I'd like to say before I start to cry. You guys are the best. Thanks for everything. Well, I guess goodbye. Lisa, thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your sense of humor. But most of all, thank you for your friendship. It is my honor to introduce Lisa Carlson and welcome her to the Sauk Rapids-Rice Athletic Hall of Fame.
Okay, just so you know, I hate this. Thank you, Coach Miller, for that great introduction. I am honored and humbled. Honestly, it could have been any one of my teammates up here. Thank you to the committee and to Coach Pedersen for remembering me after all these years, for trusting me and teaching me early on how to be a leader. I wish the committee would have asked me to shoot free throws instead of giving a speech, but here goes. Sports and school activities were everything to me. I knew early on that I was different, more than just a tomboy. This is some 40 years ago, so I didn't understand, but also struggled with being accepted. So I tried to fit in, but wasn't very good at it. Back then, there was no one to talk to about it, so I ignored it, bottled it up, hid this part of me. I wanted to please people, but was also introverted, and maybe even a little depressed. But when I stepped on the court or the field, I knew what to do. I knew who I was, and I was accepted, successful, and extremely happy. Sports changed my life, and maybe even saved it. So today is about gratitude. I'll start by introducing my family. Thank you to my wife, Wanda, for putting up with me for 34 years, and for being as passionate about sports as I am, and for the deep value you always placed on our parents. Thanks to my sister and brother-in-law, Becky and Perry, for opening up their home to me in summers during college, and for being a consistent part of my families. Thank you, Becky, for always offering your time and creativity, and for all the cakes you made every year for the track team. I have a couple pictures over there. One is a huge shoe with licorice laces. Track. Thanks to Julie, my sister, for having no choice but to listen to Mom when she drag me along everywhere. I remember going to Hillside and playing pickup basketball, and I Ferguson, Chris Bjorklund, a lot of others, and learning so much from them. Oddly, I was always on the shirts team and never on the skins. Thanks to my niece Michelle and her husband Mark. Michelle was the one that I had to drag along to everything. So she was my fan, like it or not. Thank you both for 2 wonderful children, Alexis and Cole, who couldn't be here today, but always keep my competitive spirit alive, whether it's cards, cornhole, or trivia. Thanks to my nephew Eric, his wife Carrie, and their son Henry, who supplies lots of hugs and high fives. Henry's about the age now that Eric was when he started coming to my games. I'm sure he doesn't remember, but he would go around flirting with my teammates and being all cute, flashing that 3-year-old smile so they'd give him cookies. Thank you for always being in my corner. Thanks to my brother Jim, who lives in Arizona. He called to congratulate me, said to say hi to Mr. Eichhoff and remind him that you paid him 25 cents an hour to lay sod. His worst job ever. Jim left home when I was pretty young, but he does remember playing wiffle ball in the backyard with me. They only let me play because they could make me chase the ball when it rolled down the hill. So I guess I thank him for my endurance. Thanks to my brother Don, who let me tag along to Legion ball games. Since I was at all the games, Mr. Hinkemeyer, I think it was, hired me to be the back girl and pick up the bases after the games. Yes, I actually sat in the dugout with Bob Hagman. Thank you for all the players who were amazing role models, allowing me to learn from them. Sue Phelan, Sharon Sauer, Sarah Harms, Sherry Olds, Julie Lovitz, many, many more. Okay, halfway through. Thank you to Coach Forth for being tough, for showing me what hard work can get you. With 2-a-day practices and lots of repetition, you turned me into a setter. I love the letters you wrote to each of us before every game, laying out your expectations for us. It has helped me to be a better manager today. I also thank you for your compassion after the horrible car accident, teaching us what's important, that we are not only a team, but a family. Thank you to Coach Eichhoff for fostering my love of basketball, for allowing me to dress for some games as a freshman, even though I think you got some pushback from my mom. Thank you for the defeated look on your face when I broke my thumb junior year, for checking on me every 5 minutes of practice the next day while saying, "It's just your guide hand, you can still shoot." And for taping it up so well so I could play the rest of the season and win the conference set. Thank you also for being as crushed and heartbroken about my senior year as I was. Thank you for the kind words you wrote about my parents when they passed away and for attending my dad's funeral. Thank you, Coach Miller, for teaching me the compassionate side of coaching. The day that I wanted to quit softball was also the day I found out my grandma had died. He spent at least an hour on the phone with me that evening, helping me sort out everything going on in my head. And yes, smart choice to stick with softball and get to go to state. Funny story about that state, besides that we got one game and it was against the North St. Paul Polars and the best pitcher in the state. I was in the bathroom right before the game started, and hear some girls saying, "Gee, they must have shut down the whole town." I stepped out in my Sauk Rapids uniform, and they kind of looked away, looked down. I said, "It's because our whole town loves and supports us." I was lucky enough to return to Sauk Rapids my junior year of college and coach alongside Mr. Miller for basketball and softball. Thank you to my parents. I brought my own picture who are here with me today. I can't begin to explain how much support I got from them. Mom and I lived for March Madness. With a bowl of popcorn, we watched every game we could. Of course, back then, very few women's games were on TV. Mom never met a ref she didn't despise. I thank her for my aggressiveness, as her favorite comments were, "You're gonna foul them good." She was also glad I switched to softball. Yeah, track just really isn't a spectator sport for me. Yet they still drove an hour to watch me run in 3 events that were less than 30 seconds each. Dad had 3 sons in sports, so the first habit I had to break him up was his tendency to yell, "Attaboy!" Dad, you can't say that. I wonder how many miles they put on coming to my games. At my grad party, my dad and I were chatting, and he said, "Well, now that you'll be farther away, we're not going to be able to make it to as many games." I still played 3 sports, and I don't recall them ever missing a game. Last and most importantly, I thank God for the many blessings, friendships, and memories He has given me through sports.